Hey everybody, this is Caitlin here and welcome to our Friday video where we do something or even discuss something that is basically video game related. Now today, I saw a couple of posts and whatnot talking about the Nintendo Switch, and it only just dawned on me that we're getting the Nintendo Switch this year, or at least it seems as if, as far as I remember reading the post, that it's going to be coming out this year. Now, I think it was either like May or March time. I think it was talking about. I might be getting the months mixed up, or whatever, but it definitely said 2017. So thinking about that, I thought I would like pitch in my 5 kind of like top franchises or top games that I really want to appear on the Switch. Now they don't necessarily need to be launch titles. I would just love it if at some point they appear on the Switch, because obviously I have a Wii U. I actually didn't buy it at launch. I bought my Wii U discounted. I waited the long game because I was like, I'm not buying the Wii U until a game comes out that I really want to play. And Splatoon was announced, and that was the game that really made me want to get the Wii U, so I managed to get a discounted Wii U. And then I got Splatoon, and I really don't own that many games for my Wii U. So basically that's really the main reason why I'm glad I didn't buy it at launch, because it was so expensive technically at launch when there wasn't really any games. And I only ever bought games that I kind of wanted for it, which was basically Splatoon, Smash, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. What else did I get? I got Xenoblade Chronicles X. Didn't end up really liking that game all that much, to be honest. I am still maybe planning on getting the Bayonetta 2 pack at one point, because I do want to try that game out because it looked so interesting and whatnot. But point is, I don't know if I'll be getting the Switch straight away. I think I'm going to leave it and wait and see if the price drops or if a game comes out that I actually want to play, because right now the only games that we really kind of know about is kind of like Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I'm not really, like, I love Zelda, but I'm not like a huge player of the games. Like, I'm more like into it for like the story and whatnot, but I don't really play the games very often. So probably not one of those. But in terms of top 5 franchises or titles that I want to see come to the Switch that would convince me to buy it, number 1 would probably be another Kid Icarus game in the style of Uprising. Now, I totally adored Kid Icarus Uprising. It is like one of my favourite 3DS games. Like, I was so excited when that game came out, and there's actually a funny story behind Kid Icarus Uprising in that I originally pre-ordered it from Game, but it was way back, well, while I was still at high school actually, that I pre-ordered it from Game, and it was in that kind of weird crisis period where, like, for some reason video game stores in the UK were refusing to sell games to people, like, especially ones that were just out or pre-ordered. It was like, I can't remember what the reason was for it, but for some reason it was in that, where at that like time where they were just like, oh, we're not making enough money, so we're not selling you anything. So it's like, what? Like, I was so confused. So like when I went to Game to put up my pre-order, they were like, oh, we can't sell you this. And I was like, why not? I pre-ordered it, and they're like, you know, we can't sell it. So I ended up going somewhere else in order to get it. I cancelled my pre-order. I was like, well, that's just stupid. So I went to another game store, and they sold me at no bother, which was like, why? But anyway, the point is, my number 1 pick would be another Kid Icarus game in the style of Uprising. Now, obviously, the Switch, as far as I'm aware, doesn't have a stylus. I think it might do when it's in its little... when it's in its portable mode, it might have a stylus or whatever, but I don't think it has a stylus. But I don't think you would necessarily need the stylus for another Kid Icarus game, because obviously the style of the pad, in both in its travel form and in the little compact form, I think you'd have enough buttons on it anyway to be able to control like the camera, the aiming and whatnot. So I think it would be a brilliant idea if they made a new Kid Icarus game for the Switch. Will it happen though? Well, I mean, it took so long for them to actually come up with Uprising. I'm not too sure whether they would come up with another Kid Icarus game. Like, I mean, they never did one for the Wii U. Obviously, like, they had Pit and Dark Pit and Palutena and Smash, which was, like, pretty awesome. But I feel like it might be just, like, too much of a dream for me. Like, maybe I'm, like, hoping for too much. But at the same time, I'm just like, maybe, please, can you do it for me? Please, Nintendo, that would be absolutely great. But, you know, that's my number 1 pick. My second pick would be some kind of either Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy game. I'm kind of lumping those two together because, you know, they're Square Enix based. Basically, as far as I'm aware, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure there were no Square Enix games, specifically, on the Wii U. There might have been, like, ports or whatever of, like, older Final Fantasies, if I can remember, to the Wii shop, to the Wii U shop, but basically there was, as far as I remember, and I might have just a really bad memory, there were no Wii U, like, exclusive Square Enix games. And, you know, which I found really odd, because they put Cloud in Smash, even though Cloud, as far as I can remember, hasn't been on a Nintendo console. Because I don't ever remember Final Fantasy VII ever appearing on some kind of Nintendo console. So maybe it's a sign of things to come that they went to the bother of putting, like, Cloud in Smash. So maybe, potentially, we could have either a Kingdom Hearts or a Final Fantasy game on the Switch. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, it's my dream. Like, it's one of the things I'm really hoping for from the Switch. We will probably not see Kingdom Hearts 3 on the Switch, mainly because I'm pretty sure if they were going to announce it for the Switch, they probably would have done so already, because they've already said like PS4 and Xbox One for Kingdom Hearts 3. And they haven't said anything about like 2.8, because that's obviously going to be PlayStation 4 exclusive. And they haven't said anything about Kingdom Hearts 3. So I'm pretty sure if we're going to get a Kingdom Hearts game for the Switch, it will definitely not be 3. It might be a spin-off game, because we don't know at this point. It's like 2.8 is coming out for PS4 at the end of this month. We know that kind of like not like a remaster of 1.5 and 2.5, but they're going to do like a multi-pack thing where basically you've got 1.5 and 2.5 for PS4. They might do another spin-off game, but as I said, they didn't do a spin-off game for any of the Nintendo home consoles. They did it obviously for GBA, they did it for DS, and they did it for 3DS. They didn't do it for any of the home consoles, so which is why I'm thinking they might not do it. But it would be amazing if they did, so like fingers crossed they do that. My number 3 pick for a game for the Switch would be a Harvest Moon home title. But when I say Harvest Moon, I'm mainly saying Story of Seasons, because of the whole controversy between the whole Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons split. Basically, kind of like the details on it are a little bit fuzzy right now, but obviously the people who are publishing games under the title of Harvest Moon are not like the original team who made the Harvest Moon games. They are now making games called Story of Seasons, which is, as far as I believe, is still the case. I don't know if like they've changed anything now, but obviously I want to see something from the Story of Seasons guys or whatever. But whether or not they'll get it on a home console is like, because I feel like Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons games are going to be solely 3DS titles now. Like back in the day, you had I think the last one for Wii, for the Nintendo Wii, was like, I think it was either Tree of Tranquility, which is one of the ones I've got, or Animal Parade, and I think they were like the very last Harvest Moon titles to be made for like a home console for Nintendo. I mean, if we don't get a new Harvest Moon game for Switch, I would love to maybe see them port like some of the older ones over to the Switch. That would be amazing, because I want to see, like, when the 3DS first came out and they were like, oh, they're going to be porting GameCube games to it, I was always like, please, Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. Please, Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life. I want it so badly. It never happened. So I was just like, maybe we'll get a Harvest Moon game for the Wii U. Never happened. So now I'm just thinking, please, please, in my heart of hearts, can we have a Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons game for the Switch, which would be totally amazing. My number 4 pick would obviously be Pokemon. Now this seems to be like kind of semi-confirmed, but not really. There's been talks about potentially a project under the like codename like Project Stars, which people are either thinking it's going to be like basically the either the crystal to like for Sun and Moon, or it'll be like the middle game or the sequel essentially to Sun and Moon. So nobody's really sure what it is right now. It might just be like a remaster of Sun and Moon but for the Switch. So maybe like slightly improved graphics, maybe not like terribly different to what we have on the 3DS but right now, because obviously that would take forever if you were going to like fully HDify it or whatever. But I think it's going to be basically the same kind of engine run for Sun and Moon, but obviously made for the Switch, so maybe it'll run a bit better, run a bit faster. And I don't know whether we don't even know what it is yet. For all we know, it could not even be a thing. It might not even be related to Sun and Moon, but it would be cool if it was maybe like it would be like set like a couple of years maybe after the original Sun and Moon. It would be really cool, because then we could see like maybe how becoming a kahuna, we could maybe see returning characters and whatnot. We could maybe see like our like not our like avatar or whatever, but basically the avatar player for Sun and Moon as the champion, as the like the very first champion of Alola. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? So I mean, as we know, like I feel like we need to have a Pokemon game on the Switch, because the Wii U, like the only kind of exclusive Pokemon game it had was Pokken, basically Pokken Tournament, which isn't that cool. I would love to see like a home console exclusive spin-off game on the Switch, like in the style of Pokemon Colosseum or Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Maybe not following that specific storyline, but I would love to see something on the Switch to the scale of that. Obviously not to the scale of like say like the main titles or whatever, but I would love to see that on the Switch. It would be totally amazing, and I feel like it would be really great for Pokemon. And for my very last pick for like what games or whatever that I want to see on the Switch, it's kind of like a tough one to call, because like there's like there is the potential for so many new IPs, and like that would be brilliant if we got like an injection of like creativity and we didn't just get the same like Zelda, Mario, Sonic, whatever on the Switch. Like I want to see new stuff as well. So like for my last pick, I'm just gonna say I want new IPs. I want to see new games, not just stupid spin-off party games. I don't want to see loads of ports or remasters or all this stuff. I want to see new stuff. I don't want Nintendo to play it too safe, because no doubt on the Switch we'll be getting our Marios and all that stuff, but I want to see some new stuff. I want to see Nintendo take a chance, and we want to see some new IPs, because I love it when they have like new IPs and whatnot. What was I going to say? Like Tokyo Mirage Sessions, technically that's like a crossover, but it's such a good one. It's such a good game and I love it. Bravely Default, that's on the 3DS or whatever, but that's again a new IP. Like that's like taken off on the 3DS now, and there's just so much potential. I mean, technically I would like for my bonus pick actually, for I would also love to see a new Fire Emblem game for like a home console again, because it's been so long since we had a Fire Emblem game on a home console. Like we've had them on 3DS now for so long, so it would be cool if they did that. They probably won't, but that's like my bonus pick if I had to pick one. But mainly, like the main thing I want to see is I want to see new IP. I want to see new things. I mean, it would be amazing to see new stuff on the Switch, like new exciting things to get excited for. And then you can say, oh yeah, that new franchise or whatever that kicked off on the Nintendo Switch, because that's something memorable and it sticks in your mind. And that's really all I have to say right now. As I said, I think there's going to be a direct or some kind of live stream or whatever going on for the UK. I believe it's January 13th, or is it January 12th? I can't quite remember the exact date, but I think it's not this week, but it might be the next week after this one. So potentially, depending on when it airs, whatever, if it's by next week, I'll have a discussion video or whatever talking about what gets revealed or whatever, if it's out in time before Friday. If it's not, maybe I'll hold off a little bit discussing about it until the live stream happens, because I would love to talk about it with you guys and see what you guys think about the Switch. Are you falling in love with it? Do you think it's too gimmicky? Do you think it's just going to be like the Wii U and it's not going to have any games for it? Let me know in the comments below, because I really want to get you guys' opinion on what you think of the Switch. On another note, haircut. Probably not. I probably should have talked about that first, but yeah, I finally managed to get a haircut at long last. It was a long time coming. I badly needed a haircut, but yeah, new haircut. I feel a lot more refreshed. I feel ready to take on 2017 and record more videos. I believe if I'm right, tomorrow is the 6th. Well, I'm recording this on the Thursday, so technically today, because this is really weird talking about in the future and whatnot, today is the 6th, so there should be, I believe, spoilers for Force of Will coming out today. So if there are, you'll probably see those later on in the day, after, like, maybe, like, later on in the afternoon or whatnot, after I'm finished work and whatnot. This video will be up in the morning, because it's the main video for the Friday, so you'll maybe see that later on today as well, fingers crossed, if I'm right in my assumptions. But I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Let me know down below what games you want to see for the Switch. Are you going to get the Switch when it comes out? Are you just going to like forget about it or whatever? Leave a like, obviously, to support the channel and whatnot. Subscribe if you're new, and then I'll see all you guys next time.